Yagalau by Wild East from Indonesia. Or in English, that would mean Take Care of Lau, which is a massive compound stratovolcano there. I don't know if that's what the song is about, but that's what it is in English. So we're right back here on Darkest Corners of the World with Patrick and Jorge from the band Silversmoke. Guys, thanks for being here.
Yeah, you got it. Thanks to you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Fantastic. I wanted to talk about the recording that you guys did, and what I was really excited about as a musician and being in the recording process, the bass sound that you guys got on that album, I listened to several times and tried to replicate it, and I could not. How did you guys record, and how did you guys get that sound?
Patrick?
Well, I don't think there's anything very fancy about the sound. What I can tell you was that we used, I think it's an MPEG. I can't tell you exactly which one. It's an MPEG. And we used a condenser mic and a SM57, so standard stuff. The bass, although the bass is amazing, it's my bassist bass, which is an Ibanez Roadster from the 70s. So it's a great bass. And you know what they say, it's all in the fingers.
Yeah, absolutely. And it almost reminded me of that like super raw sound from the Pixies album Surfer Rosa.
Ah, yes, that's a good analogy. Yes, absolutely. I see what you're saying. Yes.
It almost
Very
sounded.
good, yes. And on top of that, we had a great bassist. You know, our friend Raul is a great musician too. So apart from the stuff, from the equipment, you need a committed musician, you know. So a big hello for our friend Raul, who did a great job recording that.
Yes, he did.
It sounded, it sounds so raw, and it almost sounds like you recorded it live all at once, and that's what I really like about it.
Well, yeah, that was actually part of the idea. We wanted to make the album so that you feel how it is to be sitting in a room with us when we are playing, basically. Not necessarily live on a stage, but in the rehearsal space. Let's say if you sit down in the middle of the room, how does it sound when you have Silversmoke blasting your ears, you know? And I think we achieved that, you know?
Absolutely. You sit and you listen to it with the headphones on, you close your eyes, and you feel like you're there in the room with Silversmoke playing.
Well, great. Thank you. That's a nice compliment.
Yeah, I think you guys did a great job with that, and I hope to hear more of that on your next recording. What are some of the processes as you guys write the songs?
Well, usually, I could say that basically 100% of the time we come up with some nice riff, you know. It comes from Jorge or I. Somebody gets a great idea on guitar, and then we just barely develop it together. And then I will record a complete demo with drums, bass, and vocals and everything. Then I bring it to the band, and we play it, we learn it, we rearrange it if it needs some work to be done, and there you go. That's the song, basically. It's very organic, you know. We don't mess around for months with songs. Usually new ideas turn into songs quite rapidly, you know. If the song idea doesn't become a song right away, usually it's discarded. Because if there's no interest, usually we move on very, very rapidly.
And you can hear that in the songs because it sounds like it comes across almost psychically, like that's the song. You know, it doesn't sound like it was planned out. It doesn't sound like it sounds like this is a natural song. This is how it is.
Yes, absolutely correct. The thing is, the idea with the band, I think, and this I think is the perception of everyone, but all music today, from rock music to pop music to all kinds of music, it's in my opinion like a little bit overproduced. You know, everything sounds too perfect and everything sounds like pristine. You know,
Right.
And it's because they have a lot of takes and a lot of production and a lot of technology help, you know, for example, like auto-tune and all this kind of stuff, even in rock music, which for me, it sounds a little bit like poppy now because of that. And for us, it's a little bit different, you know, because we want the people to have the experience, like you mentioned before, that when they hear our music, into an album or into a recording, we want to make them feel that they are in front of us, that they are listening to our band live, and then when they go to our concert, they will listen exactly the same thing. It's just a rock band that it's giving everything that they have. That's why it sounds a little bit like it comes right on the spot. And it's raw, it's heavy or acoustic or fast, but it's all organic, like, in my opinion, like, all music should be at least in an 80%, because music, it's passion, it's showing what you feel. So if you do it artificially, it doesn't sound real. So that's why we try to make it as organic as possible. And I'm glad that you mentioned that we achieved that idea, because it's great. It's great for us to know that our mission was accomplished.
Yeah, absolutely. If you remember, and here's a great example of an album that was not done organically, and this is a long time ago, Metallica's And Justice for All was recorded in very small segments. If you remember the song Blackened from that album, how they recorded it, James Hetfield would say one line at a time. He would say, "Blackened is the end, stop." And that was the end of the recording, because they didn't want a breath in there. And then he would do the next line.
Yeah. I think perfection is the enemy of performance. And it sounds kind of cold and soulless when you do this. And again, I'm not bashing Metallica, because the And Justice for All is still one of my favorite, but it's absolutely true that it conveys a different feeling from a band playing live in the room or playing together and just reacting off of each other and letting, embracing the little imperfections that make it breathe, that make it sound like it's something alive, that it's something real, that it's not just a product, and that's what we were aiming, basically.
Yeah, and that's what should happen with albums going forward. You should have that organic feeling. You should have that. You shouldn't feel like you're listening to something and rushing through it to make it perfect and robotic.
I think it's kind of a lost art, actually. The last decade made us believe that any little imperfection is actually bad, when it's absolutely the contrary. All the greatest music that's ever been recorded was not perfect, was not played to a click all the time, was not corrected, auto-tuned to death, was not reamped 20 times and overproduced, overthought, overwritten, overproduced, everything. All of that can be a poison, I feel, And then this is what we saw the last, I would say, 10, 15 years. We lost soul in music. And like Jorge was saying, we are kids from the 90s, and it was totally the contrary. For us, it was like, no, just put 5 guys in front of a microphone and just play it like you feel it. Just catch the correct take, and there you go. There's your recording.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I really gravitate towards, is songs that make you feel like these guys just did it in one take live. That's really organic. I mean, if you want to go back, and we even talked about Surfer Rosa from the Pixies, we talked about some of the Nirvana albums did that, not all of them. And even, even going back to stranger bands like the Chainsaw Kittens did that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the punk attitude, like do it and do it now.
Right. And it doesn't even have to be punk. It could be a rock band. It could be a metal band. And that, I think that is coming back into style. I think that's coming back to be the soup of the day.
Hopefully it is, because this is what we want to hear.
Right, absolutely. And we'll be right back here with Silversmoke after we hear from Moxy and The Influence. They're from Costa, Mesa, California. And this is their song, Queen Anne's Revenge.
It was Queen Anne's revenge. She put a knife in her heart. It's a sad sob story and it fell apart. It was Queen Anne's revenge, did what he wanted to do when he took her joy and tore it in two. She's so unsure of who she is. Oh, she didn't know how to feel. Oh, she didn't know what was real. Now the things she knows are the blade at the back of her neck and the times he didn't let her speak. It was Queen Anne's revenge, she let him take her life. Had to be queen, but she became his wife. Took her time making up his mind, wondering if she chose the right pathway. She's so unsure of who she is. Oh, she didn't know how to feel. Oh, she didn't know what was real. Now the things she knows are the blade at the back of her neck and the times he didn't let her speak. She's afraid to live. She's afraid to die. One thing she knows is she's gone.